It's what is it, Spinnaker? Hey, Spinnaker morning, brothers. At least it's morning here. I'm not sure where you guys are actually watching from. I know, Flea, you're right here in Malaysia. Um, yeah, so today yesterday I was gonna take a day off, guys, and I never end up doing what I think I'm gonna do. So I ended up actually taking off for a little bit. I was like, I'll just go for a small little bike ride. And of course, if I leave the house, I want to put my camera in my pocket. And if I put my camera in my pocket, I end up filming something. And it ends up being longer than 10 minutes. I can't really attach the any video onto another video if it ends up being more than 10 minutes. So it's like, unless I'm sick and indoors, then it ends up being a full video. But then again, if you look at my old Vietnam videos when I first started, I was trying to keep all my videos to like 10 minutes because I figured that was the consumption rate of people. And there's some people that are really good at keeping videos at like 10 minutes. I'm not sure if you guys ever see Jesse St. Louis. He's a very knowledgeable outdoorsman. He does mountaineering, he does a lot of stuff, but he finds like hidden waterfalls and hidden swimming pools and stuff. And for some reason, he's able to pack that whole day into like 10 minutes. I personally think his videos need to be, because they're so well done and so well shot and so well narrated, that they should be at least like a half an hour each, just to get the good, full, 10 minutes seems like a snack when you want a lunch. But okay, guys, let's see. I might have to get out of this and back in because the chat's not working on this phone. Anyway, yeah, Jesse St. Louis, yeah, he keeps his videos down to like 10 minutes, and I don't know how he does that because he's got like me. I struggle to keep mine at a half an hour anymore, but it's awesome because some people, I guess, he's just really good at cutting out chunks, or he's not recording as much. I don't know what his secret is, but his videos are very well done. Yeah, and Flea, I'm actually just having my last cup of coffee. I'm gonna keep this one really short, guys. I'll kind of tell you what I did, where I'm planning on going today. So anyway, I ended up with a 20-minute video yesterday. So I just haven't really I uploaded it. I just haven't slapped a thumbnail and a title on it and stuff like that. I was trying to get at least 8 hours sleep last night. Expat Pete, hello, good morning. How you doing, brother? Today I'm going to go out to the beach up north of here. I guess what this area is known for is a beach about 7 kilometers, depending on which mood I noticed Google Maps, especially recently, has been giving me a variation between the distances of like a kilometer, and so it might say. The other day, it was telling me the distance was like between 5 and 6, and this morning the same distance is like 7.3. So that's where I'm going, guys. It's a little bright, but let's see if you can zoom in. Okay, there you go. So I'm going to, yeah, it's backwards. Dang, I thought I fixed that. I'm going out to Luke Simpedek. It's a beach up north, Simpedek. Yeah, it's a beach up north, but that's when I was trying to figure out a title for one of my videos. I was telling the AI, I was like, I need some type of interesting title for a boring day of just exploring the back roads and the known parts of the known parts of Quantum, and it just basically spit out the name of that beach, like, other than this beach. It's like, oh, you mean that's the only thing this town's really known for? Well, I mean, I'm not trying to be insulting, but I get that vibe because, like, I talked to the locals, and some of the locals like, hey, yeah, I saw you on, like, just a few of them are like, hey, I saw you on Well, one here actually, and then a few in the comments are actually locals here. They see me go by on my bicycle, but couldn't yell loud enough or something. I didn't hear them. Or what one guy says, "Yeah, I saw you on YouTube," and he's like, "What are you gonna do here?" He's like, "There's not much to do here, you know." And I kind of get that vibe because most people are like that. When I paid for 3 more nights here, the guy was just like, "You sure you want 3 more nights here? Because you could just pay me one night at a time, just in case you want to leave." And I'm like, I keep getting the vibe that people don't think but there's nice beaches there. Like some of the best camping area was just south of here by 30 kilometers. And so I'm gonna go check out their famous beach. That it seems to be one of anybody that does come here, they all know about that beach. So, and they're actually the local. When I was talking to him, he told me there's one even north of there, but you kind of had to hike to get out there. So I don't know what the day is going to be like. I might go out wandering, but there's some hiking close to here. So you saw that probably on my last video. Okay, guys, yeah, I just wanted to touch base today. Tell you, I tried to take a day off, but I ended up going out and I was like, oh, I haven't seen this park yet. So what happened is I just got on my camera yesterday and said, hey guys, sorry, I'm not gonna be filming anything, because if I don't film anything, then I don't have anything to edit. And if I don't have anything to edit, that means I can go to bed early. And if I go to bed early, I can get up earlier. And what happened was like, oh, wait a second, I haven't seen this park over here across the street. So I go over there and I was like, I gotta film this park. It's a nice park, you know, it's a very nice park. It's got a little clock tower and everything, and it's right across the river from where I've been riding my bicycle up and down. I just never went across the street to film that. And it's got a nice little playground for the kids, and it's got a little water fountain and everything. I was like, I gotta film it. So I filmed that, and as soon as I'm done walking through the park and filming that, I noticed the street, like a night market starting to open. I was like, and the lights are coming on, and everything's starting to get very beautiful because this town lights up very nicely at night. I mean, very nicely. So, hang on, I see. Hey, CS, how you doing, brother? Temple called, that heart is right. That heart is always right in the way of the last comment, if you look. So like CS is writing something right now. That heart right there always does that. So I don't see the full name. I'll have to wait until the letters go up a little higher before I can see what the name of that temple is there, CS. Yeah, let's see. What did I go to a temple since being here? No, I did go to a temple, but it was like there was a Chinese graveyard like overlook, and only like half the temple was open, and that part was not real interesting except for like two little puppies and some statues, and that was on the video I had. Yeah, I don't think it wasn't the Lao Z temple. I'll look that up. But yeah, so once I got through the park and finished filming that little bit, the night market was opening up, but the lights were beautiful. So I was like, you know what? I'll just ride through a little bit on my bicycle and just film, just because they were just opening up. You know, it was like the bar or like thrift stores here, right? So they got used clothing and stuff. So once I found out, oh, bundle means thrift, I think. Someone probably correct me, but now I like to go into the bundle stores and see what they have. But they were setting up all like bundle clothing, like used clothing and stuff. But nice, you know, good selection of it on the streets. And it's a good secondary market, though. You know, if you have a good eye for like clothing and stuff, and you can go to actually I used to do this little. You go to the thrift stores and stuff, and you look stuff up on the internet if you know what you're doing, and you can find stuff that's not like that's marked for $3 that might be worth $50 or vice versa. If you just have a good eye for clothing, you can go in there and just choose for like $1 each shirt that you can turn around and sell for $5 just because, so you can find something for like 4 ringgit and turn around and sell for 10, 20 ringgit. If you just had the right idea, like, oh yeah, someone definitely buy this, and then you can just have a secondary, so I'm pretty sure a lot of those little places that we're setting up do something similar to that. It's a good business. It's a picking business. We used to call it pickers, and I think they call it pickers here too, because there's what's called the pickers market. Because when I was going into that, I met one of the locals, and he said, yeah, no, if you go down and over to the temple, or not the temple, excuse me, forgive me guys, over to the mosque, they have the market setting up on Friday, Saturday, and one of the middays, I don't remember which day, and it was big food, so I ended up going from one night market into another night market into the one over by the temple, and I ended up filming that. So by the time I was done, I was like, oh, I got like 20 minutes of video. So it was like a short video, but it's so I ended up going out and ended up filming stuff. So I'll put that video up sometime today. I just had to sit and do a thumbnail for it. But it was nice. What happened was it got me away from always being out just in the daytime, because the evening I'm usually trying to get the video out, but that neglects all the nice, beautiful lighting, and so yesterday I was able to do a lot of that, so it was nice. But today it's all about going up north to the beach. So okay, yeah. So Doug was asking about disputing. I need to go in and actually. So I disputed a lot of copyright claims because I thought all my music was coming from Audio Library because it was named Audio Library and it was on YouTube. And when I Googled Audio Library, this is where it actually, YouTube Audio Library, this is where it brought me. But I didn't know everybody was talking about through the YouTube Studio app. So I've only been using that music now, and I haven't gotten any copyright claims. Now, almost half of my music that I did get from the so-called, the copyright-free places and websites and different things like this, it's half of those got copyright claims. No strikes on any of this. There's just no monetization, right? And I don't know if the monetization gets verted over to the author. So I put in, so I had to go in and put in a dispute on each one, right? So half of the ones that I disputed came back that they dropped it because it was copyright-free music. YouTube just didn't realize it because it's not part of their studio program, right? So a lot of them came back, good news, good news, good news. But some of them just, I think the companies just blindly just, they don't want to look up that song if it is a copyright-free or if it was one of their ones that they do have that's copyrighted. So they deny my dispute, right? So now I have to go back through and do an appeal. So the appeal actually, I need to put in all my information, contact information and stuff like that. And that's very shaky because I don't really have contact information. Me getting the AdWise account, I had to use my friend's address and my friend's telephone number because I'm a United States citizen. So my phone number needed to come from the United States and my address needed to come from the United States. So luckily I did actually have two people I know, and I needed both of them because one of them I couldn't use his telephone number, and the other, but I could use his address, which was great. And the other one, since he's in the process of moving, I couldn't use his address because it wouldn't make any sense, but I could use his telephone because he's a trucker and he drives like long hours. So, he's like, yeah, I'm going to be up for the next 18 hours. So you're good. Just have him send it to my phone and I'll send it to you, the code, the verification code. So, That's probably the information I'll have to put back in because that's what's connected to my AdWise and all that stuff. And what it is it's just trying to find the time to go back in and manually put in, because it's quite a few disputes. And like I said, I thought I was getting, well, it's still on, they're still all listed as copyright-free music. There's one company, though, people are kind of iffy about because it seems like they're putting out music as copyright-free, but then putting a copyright claim against everybody. So I don't know if there's a way to make money that way, but a lot of the people are complaining against this company, and they're very iffy about putting their information into a record label. I don't know if you call it that. That might possibly be fraudulent, meaning not, let's say borderline fraudulent. Like there's nothing that stops an artist from putting out music that's copied, from what I understand when I found out, putting out music as copyright free, right? And then later on selling that song or something to someone, and then it becomes copyrighted, or just changing his mind. I don't think there's anything legally binding for him to do that. It's just like super frowned upon or something. So if that's the case, that a person can change the copyright claim, then this company could easily put out a bunch of music that's copyright free and then change the claim, right? Or just it could be copyrighted and they put it out as copyright free, and then just hoping that people will pay them for the right to actually put it out, because I can turn around, contact the label and say, hey, listen, what can I do to make this better? And they say, give us $500 or something. That's how a lot of them work, and from other videos from what I've seen. So thing is, a lot of people are just very hesitant dealing with this company. And right now, someone requests that I should probably not, put anything up in writing that says this is the company you should look out for when getting music, just in case that they might try and, pull something legal on me. Make sure what I say is I'm able to legally say, I don't want to get any legal issues by making a statement that they're a fraudulent company and then they turn around and try and sue me or something. I mean, my audience isn't that big yet, but but it might be big enough that they care, Anyway, so when I did look up the company, there seems to be quite a few issues, and it's probably just a matter of a time. And if I put in my, I'll put in the information against them. I don't mind, because it'll be YouTube. And what I think they're actually doing is when a claim comes back, they're just not looking it up to see if that song's actually. So when I dispute it, they're not looking up to say, oh yeah, this is one of our copyright-free songs. They're just denying it flat out and waiting for me to do the appeal. And once I do the appeal, they probably look it up then and find out. So I need to go through that process before I start. They might not be fraudulent. They might just be lazy. Anyway, that's that. So yeah, half of the disputes were solved in a positive manner. The other half, I can't get monetization until I go through the process of dispute, and then the second process, the appeal. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, so I just have to go. So Doug, I just had to go through the process of appeal now. Yeah, they did that too. Visibility would be, yeah, so some of the things I ran into, I remember, let's see, let me read this real quick. So the Merdeka video got a copyright claim. I submitted a dispute based on fair use. So I'm assuming it was something in the background. I posted the video anyway, but they said visibility would be limited and restricted during dispute. Yeah, I've had that told to me too. Also, I had them told that the amount of money that would be collected from revenue would be held until they decided which person was going to get it. It either the artist or, and I've also like my Merdeka one actually, because of one of the floats that were going by, had music playing on it, and I ended up talking too. So trying to remove the music without messing up my audio, I mean, because it's not bad. I used the remove the audio and leave everything else before, and it seemed like they did a pretty good job. But I didn't want to take that chance. Plus, it was revenue sharing. So a lot of the songs seem to be revenue sharing. So instead of just saying, no, you can't have money, they're like, oh, you can monetize it. We just want a chunk of it. You know, we want to split it with you. So that way, I think that's smart because it's an incentive to keep the music in. It's just the artist is like, hey, you can use the song, just share the money, whatever. And it's smart, you know, because now his song's free to use anywhere, and if enough people use his song, and he's sharing that revenue with enough people, then the artist is making money. And I honestly think that's awesome that they do that. So I'm not really against taking down. I took down one revenue share once because the song was copyright free, and then it came back as revenue sharing. I was like, no. So I disputed that one, and it got dismissed. But yeah, but they told me the same, that the visibility of it, they're not going to advertise it as much. But on the dispute, I think they have something. How long do they have? Was it 30 days to get back or something? So, hey brother. Thank you, man. So the Merdeka one, I haven't, so the one you posted yesterday, the video posted there, so I got halfway through that one. I was super stoked about taking the day off and being able to watch two Planet Dougs, and so it took me a while to get able to sit down and watch Planet Doug, and that's what made me decide to take the day off. I was like, you know what, this feels good. I'm just gonna take the day off and watch, and then Planet Doug, he put out another one as soon as, like yesterday, as soon as I was done. So I was like, oh no, I'll just make it a Planet Doug day, right? So that's when I went out to get something to eat, and that's when I picked up my camera just to put in some closing words that I'm not going to be doing anything today. Famous last words. And so I was able to get through half of yesterday's video while I was sitting and eating, and then I ended up, night market, and I was like, park and then night market and stuff like this. So, but yeah, that was the, so I saw all the historical parts. Anyway, I'll have to get through it again. That was funny. So you went back to the same. I remember the first time you went to that museum. You had there wasn't there an issue like how hard it was to get in, because it didn't seem like the second time you had that issue. I thought the first time you were talking about that you had to call them up in advance and all this stuff and get permission to go into a museum, and I was like, wow, that sounds like a lot of work just going into a museum. But it didn't seem like you had that problem this time. Maybe I'm just mistaken. It was a while back when I actually watched that one when you went into the museum the first time. Okay. And the claim was for the Merdeka 2025 theme song. It played constantly on the big speaker and even during the fireworks, so impossible to avoid. Yeah, so would you put down under fair use? Yeah, I think fair use is the one I think that gives them like a month to dispute or something like that, and if they don't dispute it in a month, they send it back. A lot of those back for free. It was like, but before that month, they can just say, no, go ahead. there's nothing wrong with it. Yeah, they don't ever say anything. Doug says something about they never tell you how much they split it with the artist. I know. I think I need to Google that. That has to be somewhere in the hidden print. Maybe the artist gets to make up the amount. So yeah, and they never tell you how much they split it with. You're right about that. I could be getting like a very small amount. Yeah, the 30 days to respond or dispute. Yeah, and they can actually drop the claim before the 30 days too. I actually had one of the more popular songs from the bar, so I just put it in with fair use, and when I said for what reason, I just put it was playing in the background at a karaoke bar, right? And the artist just dropped it before the 30 days, so it was just like, no, we don't care. So that means they must have actually looked at my claim because they might have, you know, it's kind of ridiculous though because it makes it very, very hard to actually film anything because I'm not sure if you guys even notice, like a lot of times I don't notice. I can't go into a store or a restaurant or anything like this, and even some of these hostels, they play music. So the chances of um, like if I go into a store, I can't talk and film. I can either film and then put my own music in, which I did with the DJI shop, the camera shop. Try and find a pause, or you can ask them to turn it off. But that's kind of strange. Walking up to someone and their store's playing music, and you say, "Hey, can you turn off that music so I can film something?" But sometimes they have. I did do that once, and they did actually do it. But that's because I would say, "Hey, can I talk to you? Do you think you could turn this off?" I said because otherwise copyright claim. So there's like a process. It's funny. It's like, "Hey, sir, do you mind if I film your store?" And they're like, "Yeah, no, go ahead." Okay, do you mind being on it? And they're like, "No, I don't mind." And they're like, "What are you filming for?" "Oh, YouTube and all this." "Oh, you got a channel?" And it's like, "Yeah, right here." And then you're like, "Do you mind being on the film?" No, no problem. "Do you think you can turn the music off?" And, this is all just to say, "Hey, what time is it?" Or something, simple thing. So, yeah, it's kind of crazy. The music makes it super hard, though, because it's already a process to lead up to that one little basic conversation or something. Just a quick, hello, or where's the nurse? And the music playing in the background constantly. Just, I don't know. It'd be kind of a neat experiment to walk down, let's say, 1 kilometer and see how many different places are actually, and just pay attention to how many different times that you hear actually music playing in the background, just outside, not even inside. As soon as you walk in any mall, any store, any restaurant, there's music playing. So it's almost like you can't film in those places. Let's see. Okay, yeah, Flea. So it says, I think that it may be less trouble to delete the soundtrack on future, but it would spoil the ambience of the video. That's why YouTube, like I said, YouTube's still trying to help. Their business is your business. So their business is producing you, right? That's what YouTube does. You are the ones that are making their channels. So they produce the producers, and they don't produce any of the videos. And that way, you turn around. It's a smart. I mean, it's a brilliant marketing scheme because they turned around and decided to pay 55% revenue on all ads and keep 45. And so Google's spending all this money and all this to produce more money for them. And one of those things is the music thing. So they noticed that music is a problem. So they have audio library, but now they have something where they have AI tools that they're putting in. So when you get like a copyright claim, instead of just taking the audio out, the AI can figure out a proper music to replace it with. Something of the same character, same vibe and stuff like that. I don't know how well it works, but it's a new tool that they're putting out. So what it is it swaps out copyrighted music or something claimed music with uncopyrighted music that is guaranteed by YouTube now. And yeah, and the AI program figures out the best for it and stuff like that to fit the mood, fit the tempo, whatever. I don't know exactly how it does it, but yeah, and I don't know if you can keep voices in too. So I don't know if it's just like if it's just the music on the soundtrack that it swaps that out, but if it has vocals too, if that'll end up getting covered up. But it's one of the new tools that came out. I'm pretty sure it's probably on the computer, on your, you could probably do it on the laptop. I don't think you can do it on the mobile device, but that's all right. Oh, it was at a different museum. Okay. Uh, Biomedical Museum, the study contagious diseases, viruses, so they control the entry. Okay, that makes sense. So, okay, Planet Doug admits that COVID started with him. No, I'm just joking. He went to a museum. No, I'm just sorry. He said the trouble that the difficulties Doug had at entering the museum was the biomedical museum, the study of contagious diseases and viruses and stuff like that. And so, yeah, that makes sense. Control the entry on that one. Okay. I thought it was the same one for some reason. I'm sorry. But it was a while back when I watched that one. So, yeah, that's what I kind of thought too. So, yeah, the Planet Doug said, yes, in this case, I felt that the ambience was important. So I wanted to keep this in the song. I thought the same thing. It's like, well, if the song, if I'm not going to get monetized, but I'm not getting a strike, it's like sometimes it's best just to give up the video for the audience. That's what I thought because to take out too much music, like in a fair, right? So as the float's going by, and especially me talking, I kind of came to the same thing. It's like, well, okay, so it's not going to be monetized. My other ones are. You know what I'm saying? And and yeah, it depends on the scene. I totally agree with you, Doug. It really does. You got to kind of look at the scene and say, if you can't cut out the whole scene, then you probably can't just cut out the music either. So I'm with you on that one. Yeah, Matt. Hey, brother. Don't worry about the notifications. I noticed I didn't get them either. And I'm supposed to be a manager of it on my own site. It just didn't. It didn't advertise like I said, it didn't advertise my live stream at all. My post went out, but I couldn't find the advertisement for my post because it wasn't advertised, so I couldn't do a share link off that. So I had to go back to the live stream where I was setting it up and pull a link off that. So don't worry, I didn't even get the advertisement. So which is funny, because I have American Hobo, American Hobo 2. So this American Hobo 2 has a blue wrench because I don't like the blue wrench, but because I set them as a manager. That way I don't have to keep switching back and forth from accounts to edit one. So yeah, even American Hobo 2 didn't get an advertisement. And that's pretty well the only people I have under my subscription is American, is myself. I looked up the group, folding bike riders, the parade, cool group. Matt says, I looked up the group of folding bike riders from the parade, cool group. I see Asia does a lot of mods too. Brompton, super cool. Which place are you talking about? Because there's a lot of I noticed KL has a lot of folding bicycle groups. Actually, there's a guy, if you look up his channel, he does a really good job. He's from KL. It's a B&B, which is Bikes and Beats. So he has short videos, but it's all about the, KL bicycle life. And yeah, he does really good videos. He has a good choice in music, but it kind of shows the, yeah, that's all pretty well a lot of them are folding bicycles. I kind of like folding bicycles now. And you have one too, right, Mike or Matt? I thought you said you actually had one. I remember you made a comment somewhere. I think it was you. Okay, what date will you arrive in Southeast Asia? Who are you talking to? Oh, Brompton. Okay, yeah, the Brompton is the bicycle. Yeah, you have a video of you unfolding it, and I think on your channel, and then folding it, showing how easy it works. That's right. Yeah, I know nothing about folding bicycles, but I was kind of thinking about, if I start hopping trains again, um, it'd be cool to have one of those little fold-up ones that I could fold up, throw in a bag, throw the bag onto the train, and then sneak on. I met one guy up in Dunsmuir. Dunsmuir is kind of like a retirement area for some of the train riders. They kind of, Dunsmuir is very nice. And actually, Stobe the Hobo actually has one of the videos there where he's at the up. I've been in the exact same spot that he has. There's a good camping area there at the Sacramento River, where the train meets with the Sacramento River. And actually, if you go up higher up the river, you have to kind of walk along the train track, and there's no real access road, but there is like a walking trail. It takes you to like a nice double waterfall that kind of like falls in on itself. And I discovered that, and like the train track goes over it, and then the beautiful spot though. Yeah. Anyway, I met someone up there that actually he's like, oh, I always throw my bicycle, and he had a full size bicycle, like mountain bicycle. He always throws his on the train and takes it around with him. Now, he's the only one I've met that actually does this, but yeah, I was like, you mean you go it was odd to me at the time, that someone actually carry a bicycle with them. Dogs, no problem, I mean, everybody carries their dogs when they're riding on the trains. Don't worry, it's safe. When you have a dog, you're not riding suicide. I mean, I don't know anybody with a dog's going to ride suicide, but you're going to do the grainers and you're going to do the boxcars and stuff when you got a dog, Yeah, that would be cool. So anyways, now I'm rethinking because now I've done so much bicycling when I walk, it feels funny, right? So I'm like, hey, you know what? Because that's what he said. I was like, you hop trains with a bicycle? He's like, yeah, I can't get around any other way. He's like, when I get off the train, he goes, I need a bicycle. He's like, I can't get around just on foot. To me, that was weird. But now that you ride a bicycle long enough, you're like, yeah, definitely. You can cover 60 kilometers in a day and 30, no problem. You know what I'm saying? It might take you a few hours, but depending on if you go as slow as me, 3 hours, right? But yeah, now I fully understand. And one of those folding bicycles makes it a lot easier. You'd be like, oh yeah, I could take that along with me. And they're not super expensive. Honestly, I think you can get a decent one for about $300, so 1,200 ringgit. At least that's what a lot of them were priced when I was looking. I'm pretty sure they probably go up to the full $1,500, I don't know. Yeah, so yeah, walking doesn't really suck there, but it takes a different mindset. You got to slow your mind way down because your feet only can take you so fast. And the information that you're gathering has more depth to it. So like when you're riding a bicycle, like if you're looking for a spot to camp, it's very easy to see basically your surroundings and go, yeah, this is not good, this is not good, this is not good, this is not good. But then you can see the areas as you're coming up to it and say, oh, this looks promising. But you really don't know until you get off and you start doing it on foot if that what looks promising is promising, because now you need to gather more depth to the information that you're seeing, that you're taking in to actually know if it's a good camping spot or not. So in combination of the two, riding a bicycle and then getting off and walking, yeah, you can. The bicycling is very, very, very handy, but sometimes you need it in the combination of walking. So walking like the Camino and stuff, you have to zone out. It's like, it's, but the Camino is different. You're usually always talking to someone, you know what I'm saying? You don't have to. You can go solo and just veg out. And there's a very long flat spot on the Camino Francis. It's just, you want to go during spring when everything's, blooming and stuff because it's nice. But like during the dry season, it's just like, just flat plateau, mesa that just goes on forever. And it's like a few days of walking in that. Okay, let's see, it's 1:40 or 10:40. I should probably pack this up here pretty soon. And I say over short distance. I might be a car often. No, definitely. A bicycle can definitely beat a car in a packed city. That's why, like in New York City, there's all those bike messengers and stuff. Because they can get around a lot easier. I pass a lot of them too, but yeah. No, I definitely have my views of walking dirt versus riding a bicycle has changed. I'm kind of addicted to having the bicycle now. Okay, Matt, what's the recap? I'm getting off too. So the recap is I'm going up north about 7 kilometers to a beach called, well, it's not that one. Taluk Simpedek. So it's let's see if I can focus in on that. Hang on, let's hit the directions here. Okay, so that's going up north, and yeah, I'm hopping on the bicycle going out there because that's the big beach that I'm supposed to be filming right now. So, all right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. Like I said, I didn't even mean to do this long. I just want to get out, and I got this place for 3 more nights, and just because I don't think I'm going to find another 20 ringgit hostel anywhere else, I fairly think it's all going to be camping from here on out. Yeah, actually, Doug, I definitely think electric bikes are awesome because I had them. The faster, the better. If you can hit 70 on an electric bike. But they mostly get all like they have limiters on them where they keep them at the legal 30, but that's usually just clip one wire and you don't have that anymore. But if you clip that wire, the gear, it just maxes out that motor the whole time. So yeah, I've done electric bikes. I really like electric bikes. I've made my own motorized bicycles too. Those are loud 2-strokes. Never ported the engines, but I did everything but port the engines. But yeah, electric bikes are one of those things that will spoil you. So if you do an electric bike, you don't want to go back to a regular bike because regular bike's about half as fast, as an electric bike on average, because you're going about 15, 18 kilometers per hour, where you're gonna go over twice as fast with electric. But like I said, they'll spoil you. Yeah, the trick with the 2 bicycles, if you get one what's called an off-road electric bike, off-road means illegal. No, it means like they don't try and limit the speed. So they're trying to classify as an off-road like motorcycle, but you don't want the ones without the pedaling action. You want to keep the pedaling action because it keeps it legal in a lot of states and stuff. I'm going by the laws of the United States. So, all right, guys, I'm going to jump off. I'm going to get out there, do some filming, go explore a beach, and that'll leave the trails for later that I went and, looked for the trailhead. But today I want to do the beach. Yeah, I don't. Oh, and I've got to bring my mosquito stuff. All right, guys. Peace out, and hopefully I'll have a video up for you later. Okay, well, if I overlooked anybody's comments, just throw in a comment on any of my videos. All my videos are just a chat room anyway. You guys don't have to stick to just talking about what the video is about. talk about whatever you want to amongst each other too. And if you don't want to do that, go over to the Telegram board. The link's in the description of all my videos. All right, guys, peace out.